Hello, I'm Mark, and this year I had a milestone birthday. I turned 50. In the last couple of years, last 2.5 years, life's taken a particularly difficult turn. Family took precedent in my time, and I gave up training, running, stopped. As I say, it was to take care of my son. He was more important. So for the last 2.5 years, the only real exercise I've been getting is a daily dog walk, half an hour walking around the field with the dog. Not much more than that. If you've seen any of my videos previously, you may have caught, well, you can go back and have a look. You would see that I did a lot of running. I did ultra marathons. But I say 2.5 years ago, that stopped. But things have settled down now. A normal routine or a structured routine is returning to our lives, and I'm going to see what my body is still capable of when it comes to running. The last 2.5 years, things have changed. I've been given glasses for reading text, reading books. My type 2 diabetes, which I thought I had overcome 10 years ago or so, came back, and I'm now on 2 medications to control it. As I say, I'm now 50 and I weigh just over, shade over 12 stone. My resting heart rate is around 50 beats per minute, and I'm still physically fit. I'm still fit enough to do the daily dog walk, and on those daily dog walks, I might spend a minute. Again, if you have a look back at one of my previous videos, you'll see that I can still run at a decent enough speed, um, but I've not really pushed myself particularly hard at all over long distances up till now. My running history, well, it started when I was 11. This photo here in the background, get my finger right. That boy there, that boy with the 2 gentlemen to the sides, that's me. That's me when I was 11. And this was the Clean Fun Run. It was a 6 mile fun run. In fact, I still have that medal. Here it is. The Clean Fun Run, which took place in 1988. So Clean is a small village borough of South Tyneside, and yeah, I took part in fun run. Whatever happened to fun runs? All kind of popular, weren't they? And then kind of disappeared off. Was that a health and safety thing? Who knows? Anyway, how did I get into running? Well, I just always ran. I mean, a lot of kids just run, but I particularly just ran. Most days, most places I would run. I suppose lots of children would cycle, skateboard. Some would walk if they weren't like physically active. But I used to run an awful lot. And the chap there, just above my head, there in that t-shirt with the mustache, he's a family member. And he did a lot of running. That's why he's taking part. And he kind of took me under his wing rather. And the chap next to me there, he was a family friend, and again, he did a lot of running. So they graciously decided to let me tag along on this fun run, the Clean Fun Run in 1988. Don't know what time I did. I can't remember, but I loved it. I loved running, and few pictures of me running in that particular or after that particular run, and I say I got the kind of the bug for running, more so than I had previously, and I did enjoy running. So then I did some more fun runs. So we've got here two more medals uh, from fun runs. These would have been around the same time, 1988, round about 1989, 1987 potentially. And these were the St Michael's and All Saints fun run, raising money for church restoration. Again, 6 mile runs, and so that was it when I was about 11, 12 year old. And then I started secondary school, comprehensive school. Some people call them high school. And PE lesson, went for a cross country run, and I was expecting to be humiliated, as you know, I wasn't a particularly sporty person. I couldn't play football, didn't like rugby, didn't like cricket, um, but I could run. And I think, if I remember rightly, memory's not what it used to be. I came fourth in that cross country run in a PE lesson, and I wasn't that far behind the lad that finished first. But the PE teacher chose me and some of the guys to represent the school in cross country. So yeah, I did school cross country. Not long after that, I joined my local running club, Shields Harriers. So I was a member of Shields Harriers for quite a few years, between the ages of I want to say 12 to 18. So a good 6 years I was a member of the Harriers, and I took part in the cross country and track and field, and the training sessions, which were usually a Tuesday and a Thursday night. Nothing different to anything else that's going on up and down the country at that time. When it came to the training, as a child, I was often taking part in sprinting training sessions. My love was distance running. I wasn't particularly a fast sprinter at the time, but the coaches had to keep the children together as a group, and they would all do the same training. They couldn't have children going off doing their own thing and doing distance running without any adult supervision and guidance. So it was that. So it wasn't until I was about 16. So when I was 16, I had finished a training session at the Harriers. It would have been a Tuesday, I believe, a Tuesday evening in September of 1992. I was 16, and on the way home, not that far from the stadium, this Gypsies Green Stadium. Well, it's not really a stadium, is it? The running track. It's not even really a running track, is it? It's a cinder track. I was beat up by a couple of lads, so got home, and as my parents would normally do, overreacted, and they called the police. And the two police officers that turned up, one of them had an entry to the Great North Run on that following weekend. Unfortunately, he couldn't take part because he was injured, and he asked me if I wanted his place, which you couldn't do that now. That wouldn't be allowed. 16-year-old lad, I was underage for the Great North Run, but hey. And I said yes, and I did the 1992 Great North Run, which happened to be the World Half Marathon Championship as well. So that was my first ever half marathon. I was 16. I'm not going to say what my time was because, to be honest, I've got no proof of what it was. I remember it was hard, and I loved every bit of it. So I've done 25 Great North Runs now. I stopped doing them. I think my last one was 2023. My last 5 Great North Runs have all been like charity, running for charity. I mean, I've got loads of Great North Run medals. Um, from taking part in the Great North Run. I think this was the last Great North Run I did. The 1993 Great North Run. I think it was 1993. It says 23 on there. But yeah, Great North Run. My quickest time to date was a 1:27, 1 hour 27 minutes. Always wanted to go faster than that. I have done other half marathons. I've done the Haweswater half marathon at least 3 times. Anybody that's done a Haweswater half marathon will know that it isn't a particularly easy route. It's got lots of hills, but what goes up must come down. So you can at least regain some time on the downhills if you're good at running downhill. Not everybody can run fast downhill. I've done marathons. I've done the London Marathon in the year 2000, 2005, 2008, and then during COVID in 2020, I did the virtual London Marathon, which I think was the October of that year. Not an official one, you had to pick your own route and go out and record it and then submit your results. But I did the virtual London Marathon as well, and they posted everybody off the London Marathon, 40th London Marathon medal for that. So this one really doesn't count, does it? Because it's literally just it's what the class is a virtual race. You run and yeah, it was the 4th of October 2020. You run, you record the time, you submit it, and they then send you your medal. And then if you look at my past videos, you'll see I've done ultramarathons. The first ultramarathon I did was the UTAT, the Ultra Trail Atlas Toubkal, which took place in Morocco. And if you haven't seen that, there's some couple of short videos I did whilst I was over in Morocco doing that. And that was it was supposed to be a 2-day event. The first day, the first race I did was the marathon in the Atlas Mountains. So you're looking at low oxygen. It was about 13-14% oxygen level. It's went up to or past 10,000 foot in elevation. It was a really difficult terrain and conditions and the heat. But it was great. However, day 2 I was supposed to do the I think it was a little bit further than half marathon. Sorry, I think it was 16 mile. But I couldn't do day 2 because on day 1 my bladder burst towards the last checkpoint, and I wouldn't be allowed to take part in the second day without the water. I would have to carry my bladder, so I wasn't able to do day 2. But you know what? I was relieved that I didn't have to get up and run again, because that first experience, hats off to everybody that did the actual full 100-kilometer ultra trail in the Atlas Mountains. That would take a hell of an effort. The second ultra I did was the UTAT, by the way, was in October of 2016. So I flew from Stansted at the end of September. The race took place in October of 2016. My next ultra was the Pennine Barrier in June of 2018. And that was a 50-mile run. and it took in the three peaks of Yorkshire. So Penny Ghent and Whernside, and I can't remember the other one, but it was opposite. So that was a 50-mile ultra marathon. Interesting story, or rather a sad story. The Pen and Barrier took place on the Saturday. Unfortunately, we laid my dad to rest just a few days earlier. It was the Tuesday or the Wednesday of that week before the Pen and Barrier. I had to lay my dad to rest. So it was the thought of my dad that pushed me through continuing with the 50-mile, and that was hard. That was a hard challenge. But my dad was disabled for all of my life. He had rheumatoid arthritis, which meant that he wasn't able to work for all the time that I knew him. So my upbringing would have been, you could imagine, my dad could only do so much with us. But he's the reason why I got into running in the first place. I loved to run, and I could do it. And these last 2.5 years without any regular running there's been a part of me missing that I've just been itching to get back out. I have gone out and done the occasional run on a Sunday and struggled massively. It's been hard work, but it hasn't been no commitment has been involved in it. There's been no routine training plans or anything like that. So the purpose of this video is it's going to be an ongoing blog showing that a 50-year-old with type 2 diabetes and a challenging lifestyle caring for a disabled child doesn't mean that you can't get fit again and you can't regain some of that lost youth. Now, I have the advantage that I've got a running background, so I know what I'm doing. My disadvantage is I don't have much money. So all the gear I'm going to use aren't expensive Garmin watches. I've got this watch. I've had this watch since 2023. This is a Garmin Solar Instinct or Instinct Solar. This is the Series 1. It's a basic solar powered, well, it gets charged with solar, but you can USB charge it. But it's a solar GPS watch, and it's the basic. You can get more basic phone watches than this one, but it's as basic as you can get for a decent running watch, because that's all I could afford back then. I've also got an Apple 4 watch, which I think that was 2018 that watch came out. So that watch is 8-year-old. It's had a battery replacement over that time, but the battery is not brilliant. So I've got 2 sports watches that I can use, and I will be recording using both watches because there is going to be differences in things like heart rate and GPS accuracy. So it'll give us a decent idea as to what my performance is like. In terms of performance, I've started my training, and I started with a Cooper test. So a Cooper test is a 12-minute challenge where you need to try and run as far as you can in a timed 12 minutes. When I chose the Cooper test route, I wanted to also try and set a benchmark 5k time. So the route I chose was the South Shields Park Run route, which starts on the seafront outside the Sandancer pub. Fortunately, this is not the best route if you're going to be choosing to do a Cooper test, run as far as you can in 12 minutes, because it's uneven trail, it undulates, it goes up. In fact, the first uphill kicks in at about half a mile, a bit less than half a mile from the start, and it just undulates, uneven paths, coastal wind, in your face, swirling around, never behind you. So it's not the best route. However, it is where it is, and I did that The 12 minutes I did it in 1 mile 66. I ran 1.66 miles. Average heart rate of 137 and average pace of a 7-minute 15 pace, which I was impressed by what I was managed to achieve. So what I'm going to do is I'll record my videos. I will be rerunning the Cooper test, and I'll do the same route. It's not going to be an easy route to do, but it's the South Shields Park Run route. So every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, dozens, if not hundreds of people turn up to do the park run, which I also intend to go back and redo, because I've only ever done 10 park runs, maybe 11, 10 park runs, and the first one was in 2016, 10 years ago. This year was when I started park runs. Last park run was in the early 2017. Haven't done a park run since. My fastest park run time, I believe, was 19 minutes and 41 seconds. So 10 years older, can I beat my park run personal best? Let's see. As we go through these videos, I want to talk about my training. There'll be some video out me outdoors running. There's going to be drone footage, as you've already seen earlier in the video, some drone footage. And yeah, you're going to see whether or not this 50-year-old, slightly overweight, because, you know, according to the scales, 12 stone 2 pounds, I'm classed as overweight. Just on the border, I'm like 25.3 BMI, if you believe in BMI. But it's still classed as overweight. So yeah, that's it. That's. I hope you join me in this journey of me trying to recover some fitness and to see whether or not this old guy can actually regain some of his prior fitness. And I'd love to hear your comments. Till next time, bye.